You're watching Legal Focus on TVC News, and now you're on to The Advocate. This segment talks or takes us into the world of legal luminaries of our time. The Advocate this week is Moyosore Onigbanjo, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Welcome, sir, to the program today. Tell us about your childhood years and the point when you knew you were going to be a renowned lawyer.
Well, I come from a middle-class family, grew up in Surulere, Lagos. I attended Sunnyfields Primary School. That school, by the way, we have, I think, 5 senior advocates. I doubt if there's any primary school that can match us.
As at now?
As at now, yes, and more to come.
Indeed.
Yes,
Amen.
and I attended St. Finbarr's College, then I read law. Funny enough, my university degree says I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University, but I never actually stepped into Obafemi Awolowo University. I was admitted into University of Ilorin to read law. After my final exams, that was in 1998, the NUC, National Universities Commission, cancelled our law program, and as such, we were the right to award LLB degrees was withdrawn. But fortunately for us, we had a professor from Guyana, Professor James, who was one of the pioneer lecturers in the then University of Ife. So he ran quickly to University of Ife, struck a deal with them. The University of Ife gave us, all of us, admission, but on one condition: we had to write the exams again. So I ended up writing 2 final exams, one for the University of Ilorin, which was cancelled, and then the other one for the university, the Obafemi Awolowo University, as it was then called.
And the venue was still in Ilorin?
Still in Ilorin. And so I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University without actually
stepping foot
or going to, well, I'd been there, but not as a student. I cut my legal teeth with Akin Delano and Co. in Ibadan. I was a copper then. Chief Delano later ended up to be a senior advocate. Then I started to work with Professor Ebe Kasumu. I worked with Professor Ebe Kasumu for 5 years before I then joined the partnership, Eli Adeniji in Apapa. From Eli Adeniji, I then, in I think July, 1st of July 1999, I set up my own firm, MJ Onigbanjo and Co., which I still work in till today.
Now, let's go back to those formative years, especially, but I just want to know at the point, specifically when you knew you could be parental influence, but the point where you just knew this is it, law is it for me.
My first connection or contact with the legal profession came through my my friend's father. Tunde Kasumu was a good friend. His father was a renowned lawyer. And that was where I bit the bug. And then in my JAM exams, I put in law, and then University of Ilorin admitted me. So that was really when I started to.
Right. Well, and how many of your colleagues during that period, Uni Ilorin, University of Ife, what names can you comes to memory at this time, friends that have been with you up until this time, who share these experiences you've had?
Well, there are quite a number of them from Ilorin. I think in my set, I think we have about 3 or 4 other senior advocates. Olatoke, SAN is one of them. Sheni Ibiwoye, SAN is another one from my set. We also have judges from my set. And we also have professors and name it. It's been a fulfilling journey.
Right.
There have been ups, as you would expect. There have been downs. I've won cases, I've lost cases. In litigation, with all sense of modesty, I think I've seen a bit of litigation in Nigeria. I've practiced through the length and breadth of this country, in the north and the east, and of course in Lagos, where I'm based. And I have no regrets. If I would be asked, would I do this again? Certainly I would.
Interesting.
Yes.
And of course we know law has many fields, the practice indeed has many fields, but which particular field of law tickles you the most? You're not a stand for nothing, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, my area of specialty, which interests me the most, is commercial litigation. You know, there's nothing like unraveling a very complex dispute and marshalling your client's position in such a way that the court appreciates it and rules in their favor. You know, when that happens, the feeling really is fantastic. You know, it's fulfilling. One feels that one has contributed an added value to the client's business and help them in really resolving something that maybe otherwise would have been a great obstacle for them.
And was it through commercial practice that you were able to earn the SAN title?
Well, largely through commercial practice, but generally because of advocacy before courts, be it in family matters, maritime, largely for advocacy.
Takes us also to your musing, so to speak, on the legal profession. How well has this noble profession fared?
Well, you know, the legal profession has had its knocks, because really nothing sells like bad news. So any time that there's a negative issue, it impacts more on the impression that people have about the profession. But by and large, the profession is doing what it was set out to do. It's resolving disputes, it's putting matters to rest, it's giving judgment, it's also convicting people who run who go against provisions of the law. So, to a large extent, the legal profession has done very well for itself, especially in Nigeria. We have a very rich history. You know, we've had some world-renowned legal minds, the Eliases, Gani Fawehinmi, Chief Williams, Chief F.R.A. Williams. So many people who anywhere in the world would still be giants in the profession. We have some of the greatest advocates you can think of, some of the sharpest legal minds in Nigeria.
All right. We might have to just go back a bit now for specifics on the highs and lows of your journey so far.
I will not want to pick out any particular moment. Other than that, you know, there's some cases, I've done some cases, appeared before some judges, and win or lose, you know, I went back fulfilled that yes, I put in my best, and the decision was, you know, in the circumstances, I accepted it. There have also been times when I believed that the decision ought not to have gone that way. But I also accepted it and filed appeals where necessary. I strongly believe, I don't believe in this trend of where you have a lot of people, when they lose matters, they tend to resort to petitions, calling the judges names, even though they don't have any concrete evidence to back this up.
Right.
So I think we are gradually, becoming bad losers. That spirit that if you lose the case, it doesn't necessarily mean that the judge was influenced to do so. I think we need to imbibe that, and if you lose a case, appeal.
If you must.
If you must appeal, and only where it is clear and you have the evidence should one accuse the judge of being influenced. That is what, to my mind, is unpalatable. The attack which the judge is about to, in some cases too, there have been some judges, of course, who have not been fair, but generally you see that our colleagues these days, when they lose a matter, then the next thing is to petition against the judge.
Right. Moyosore Onigbanjo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, we appreciate your time with us on Legal Focus, the Advocate this week. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.